Morning, hope you're enjoying your morning. I am. After Wednesday got a great 3 points down at Loftus Road yesterday. And we'd had some good news on the Friday night. Wednesday revealed that they'd managed to secure Shea Charles for the rest of the season. And they did it with that cracking little video. Love out like that, me. Love out like that. So a real boost for us going into that game. And I said last weekend that we'd got 3 tough games coming up. We've got Leeds, Bristol and QPR. I was hopeful that we might be able to get 4 points out of those games. Obviously we had the 3-0 at Leeds, and then the Scrappy game against Bristol, we got a point from that, which put a little bit of pressure on us to get the points at QPR. A QPR team in a fantastic run of form. 5 wins at the last 6 home fixtures for the Hoops, and a really tough game in prospect for Wednesday. They've really turned the corner from the beginning of the season. They were right down there at the bottom. And one of the form teams in the entire division going into this game. Wednesday made some changes going into the game. Callum Paterson came back into the side as Wednesday went with a... Well, what did Wednesday go with? Well, it was a back 4, I'll say that. But the movement within the game was such that you couldn't really pin it down. You know, at times it was a 4-3-3, at times it was a 4-4-2, sometimes like a 4-2-2-2, and sometimes like a 4-5-1. But for the sake of argument, we'll say we're like this, as a basic. So Wednesday with Beadle in goal, a back 4 of Valerie, Hekwe, Bernard and Lowe, a midfield 2-ish of Charles and Bannon, with Patterson on the right, Gassama on the left, and Lowe and Windass almost taking it in turns up front. Now QPR really came out of the traps, as you'd expect them to do. Like I said, they've had that tremendous run of form at home, really climbing the table and pushing on. And the first 15 minutes or so, they really came at us, and Wednesday had to be really resolute and solid at the back. And I thought they were. I thought a Hekwe's come in the last 2 or 3 games, and we talked about the Bristol City game, gets his head on things, gets his body in there. And it's old-fashioned defending, but it's vital, and especially that first 15 minutes or so, I've got to be honest, we didn't really see much at ball at all. Very scrappy. Obviously, it's a tight stadium down there. It all feels very compact and pressured in there, and Wednesday really had to be resolute. The opening stages, first 15-20 minutes, we were sort of struggling to get a foothold in the game. Now, the pitch looked really good, but Wednesday's passing looked really bobbly, if you know what I mean. Everything seemed to be a little bit short, a little bit long, and there seemed to be a lot of sort of shin-high passes, if you know what I mean. Very scrappy from us in that opening stage. QPR, they were really trying to get Smith in down the right-hand side. A squat little player, but very quick. And he had a break, maybe 21 minutes. Again, good football from QPR. They worked it out from back, down that right-hand side. Ball slipped across to back stick, and the big lad, Frey, I don't know why, but he don't slide in. You know, it was a sort of ball across the 6-yard box that when I was a younger kid, Gary Lineker, Ian Rush, they made a career out of getting under them sort of crosses into the box, sliding in there on back stick. And it was a warning for Wednesday that, like I said, getting wide, getting delivery into the box. They put a lot of long throws in there. There were a lot of crosses into the box, and but we dealt with it manfully, to be honest with you. I mean, Wednesday weren't out of it by any means. We were in there and scrapping, but it was very tough. I think the first chance was probably 20-25 minutes. Low won a tackle and managed to get Windass away, and he had a little turn in the box and managed to get a shot that keeper got a strong hand to. And as we were sort of coming into halfway, half time in the game, Wednesday did start to come back into it a little bit more and foraging their own little opportunities. Gassama had a couple of runs. Up to that stage, we'd not managed to really get him into the game. He was playing quite high up and quite wide on the left-hand side, and there were a few times We tried to find him with a long ball, but they were, like I said, they were either a little bit too much on it or it fell a little bit short of him. But as we come up to that sort of 35-40 minute mark, Wednesday just sort of turning the needle back and evening things up a little bit. About 5 minutes before the break, probably QPR's best move actually. It was a lovely little chip ball, sort of inside left position. Actually, it's exactly the same ball that we got caught out with the other week when we got caught squared at the back. Their lad gets up, heads it wide, not back in. Frey nudges it out, and their lad whips one just sort of wide. And it was becoming a little bit end-to-end, a little bit nervy as we come up to the halfway point. But actually, Wednesday's best chance came just after that as well. It was a corner from the hand side. Charles whipped it in. Hekwe got up, strong header. He's had a really good game in both boxes today, Hekwe. We hadn't looked a threat from set pieces. You know, it made me laugh at the beginning of the season because every time we got a corner, you'd hear commentators or whatever and they'd be saying, oh, and big lads are coming up from Sheffield Wednesday. They've got some real height in this team. Obviously unaware that we were actually no threat whatsoever when we got up there. But Hekwe, he's coming, he does get his head on things. He was a threat all game. And this one, he heads it in, it gets headed back out. Lovely turn, you know, a volley on the turn. And their keeper did something that, well, quite rare these days. He caught the ball, you know. Every keeper, every game I see from internationals all the way down third division, everything's a push and a parry these days. That was a really hard shot that Hekwe got away. Threw a bit of a crown scene. Brilliant bit of goalkeeping by Nardi. They put a really good cross into the box from a corner. It's right underneath the crossbar. Beadle gets a really good punch on it, puts it out to the side. And Wednesday had a tremendous break down the right hand side. I think it was Gassama, but as I said, that front line were all over the place, moving, swapping positions. You know, Windass were popping up on left and then on right, and we streaked down that side. And their, I think it was their fullback, would that be Fox actually? Brilliant recovery tackle because it looked like Wednesday were in. They got a series of corners. Like I said, they got a lot of corners today. They were really trying to get in box and put us under pressure because obviously every team individual will know that Wednesdays give a lot of goals away from set pieces. So they're trying to get in box regular. But that referee, and he is very fussy. He keeps stopping game. He's going in for the chat with him every 5 minutes. And before it's even been took, before they've even had a chance to start up wrestling. And that's fair enough. Tell them once. Any of that is a penalty. Do you know what I mean? Any of that is a free kick the way. But he did it on every one. I mean, once you've told them once, that's it. For me, they've had warning. Get cards out. Start giving penalties. But I don't know. I know it must sound like I've got it in for referees. I ain't got it in for referees, but it's so frustrating because some of the stuff, I know they're hampered by the consistent changing of the regulations all the time, and that this season we're going to clamp down on this, and next season we're going to clamp down on that, and it all gets forgotten about after a fortnight. But there's still a part of the game where you've got to allow for a little bit of common sense, you know, and a little bit of refereeing by your own thoughts and your own judgments. But in this, I'll give you a warning. Don't do it again, lads. Or don't do that again. It's like, don't tell them 20 times. Just get cards out and give a decision. Just stop it with referees, Jim. Stop it with referees. About 10 minutes into the second half, Wednesday starting to find a little bit of rhythm with their passing, which they'd struggled with first half. You know, we did the ugly side of the game well first half, I'll say that. You know, we headed, we tackled, we blocked. We got back in numbers when we had to, you know, we soaked up pressure. But second half, I thought we sort of matched that with our attacking play as well. And it weren't sparkling, it weren't that sort of game all round. But I thought Wednesday started turning screw in second half. And because the first half, I would, without really causing us too many problems. I thought QPR had most of the ball, if I'm honest with you, but the second half a lot more open, and I thought Wednesday offered a lot more going forward. Really, like I said, turning it screw a bit. 61 minutes, nearest to a goal we've come all game. QPR hit the crossbar from a free kick. It was a lovely free kick, by the way. Their lad left, I think it was left footer, left back came up, clipped it over the wall, struck crossbar. I don't think Beadle would have got to it. But it weren't a free kick. It weren't a free kick. It's never been a free kick in a million years to start with, and this is the frustration. Now their lad went down, and I'm not saying he weren't injured because I do think he were. I do think he got a bit of a knock, but you can be injured and it not be a foul, and there's no way in the world that was a foul. He's running in, he's jinked him past two men, good run, left foot to right foot, right through middle at heart of Wednesday. And Bernard's just stood his ground. Just stood his ground and a strong foot block tackle. Like I said, I'm not saying their lad works, he was clearly in some discomfort, but you can be in discomfort and not be fouled. I just thought it was really soft. Shortly after that, their manager, like I said, Wednesday's, I think, taking the momentum at this stage. They're breaking more than attacking, if you know what I mean. They're having to break on Wednesday and counter them compared to the first half. Their manager's not hanging about. He makes, I think it was a quadruple substitution. That's something else I don't like in modern football, actually. I don't, honestly, go back to day two subs. It does my head in. I was actually talking to a player, Wednesday player, probably 18 months ago. What do you think about all these subs? Don't like it. Because either you're either coming off or you're going to get shuffled into another position, and then you might get shuffled into another position 5 minutes later, and one of the elder statesmen of the squad. But there we go. Perhaps like me, harking back to a simpler time. Where were I? Oh yeah, a quadruple sub from them. Trying to turn the momentum a little bit because Wednesday had been on top in that second half. A Wednesday score straight away. We'd made our own change with Michael Smith coming on. He's back from his birthday party with kids, and it's a really simple goal. It was effective though, I think, because it caught QPR on the hop. Because the first half, as I mentioned earlier, Wednesday, very fluid. That sort of front line, we've got a back four, and then the midfield and attack were just popping up all over the place. Paterson were popping up on the left, Low on the right, him and Windass sort of taking it in turns to have a go up front, and it's almost like we played without a recognised striker, which obviously can make it hard for defenders, who am I picking up? Where's my man? When they're all drifting in and out on wide. And Smithy comes on, completely different kettle of fish, old-fashioned target man, going to play that middle width 18-yard box, win headers, up ball up. It's exactly what he did with a goal. Bannon's in an inside left position, gets 7 iron out, wedges one in, and Smithy just gets across. Really good run. Deft, glancing header, across goal into far bottom corner. Absolutely brilliant header. And the threat that you get with a proper old-fashioned target man. And I think Wednesday deserved lead at that stage. Like I said, defended manfully in the first half against a lot of QPR pressure, hell of a lot of pressure, a lot of balls into the box. Second half, I thought we were the more dominant team, so I thought we deserved that goal. And then we nearly doubled it. Gassama, brilliant run down the left-hand side, good strength. That's another thing that's impressed me about him recently. I've talked over the last, 2 months or so about his playing with his head up more, he's picking the better options with his passes, he's not running into as many dead ends, but he looks a little bit more, I don't know the word is, a bit more beefed up, probably, he looks a lot stronger when he's on that turn, when he's got a man up his arse. Anyway, he gets down left hand side, cuts the ball in, Patterson's made a brilliant run across, cute little flick with outside at right boot, and he just goes wide, probably deserving of a goal really. But not a minute after that, he does get on the score sheet. Lowe gets the ball, wins that ball into midfield. A couple of little 1-2s in there. Charles comes out with it and just spreads the ball wide to Paterson. Arrows onto it, comes inside onto the left foot. And a lovely sort of curled, caressed finish into the far post. Absolutely brilliant. And I'm delighted, obviously, because big members of the Pato fan club in this house. Well, I am. They don't like football. But, the singular member of the Paterson fan club in this house. Brilliant goal, 2-0 Wednesday. And then you get to the stage of thinking, let's keep the clean sheet. You know, sometimes you score 2 goals in a game and you, right, go on lads, go and get a third, go and get a fourth, you know. But I didn't really think it was that sort of game. Very scrappy, 2 battling teams, very close in the table, obviously. And all I'm thinking then is, let's get that clean sheet. Let's get that clean sheet, because I thought lads deserved a clean sheet today, the way that they defended. They kept coming at it. The number 22, he'd come off the bench. He had a left foot shot right near the end, and Beadle had to get a really strong hand to it round post. We did concede some shots, but overall, I thought it was a really good defensive away performance, and it was an ugly game. It weren't a great looking game. It weren't a great spectacle. It's a little bit old fashioned in some ways, you know. Lots of balls into box. There were lots of headers today. Lots of tackles going in. A fussy referee. But we've come away. Fantastic 2-0 win and a clean sheet. I'm so pleased with it, lads. Really pleased. And I'm delighted that they managed to dig that second half performance out, because the first half, I thought we were finding it tough. Like I said, the first 20 minutes or so, it were all QPR. We had that tough game against Bristol, where I thought we looked really tired. I thought they looked like they were a level of fatigue after that game at Elland Road, where we really gave it all and were, you know, unfortunately undone there towards the end of the game. But I thought the lads had been looking tired, but today they've given it everything again. They've given it everything again, and they've been justly rewarded with the points. I'm probably going to surprise you with the man of the match, because I do love Paterson. I'm glad he's back in the team. Nobody more delighted than me when he got that goal. A really positive performance. When you're away from home, you've got to battle for points. You've got to earn the right to play. In the first half, I thought we did. We battled no more so than Paterson. I thought he really put himself about, as he always does. You know, that's his style. And I think that's why I'm so fond of him as a player, because he gives his all for the Wednesday shirt, you know, and all that should be a given. But we've seen plenty of players over the years who ain't give it all for the Wednesday shirt. Players who, on paper, probably got more skill than Callum Paterson. Don't mean out if you ain't got heart. I mean, I can barely bring myself to say his name, but I compare the attitude of Callum Paterson and somebody like Jay Bothroyd. You couldn't get any more different. You couldn't get any more different. Now, Bothroyd had got talent, but didn't get a fig. Didn't try a leg. Not bothered about them players. Not bothered about them players at all. Don't care how good they are, how much they're worth, blah, blah, blah. Give me people with Callum Paterson's attitude and I'll be happy. But despite all that, not my man of the match. My man of the match today would be Max Lowe. I thought he was absolutely terrific. Everything that QPR put at us first half, and they put a lot at us. Their main threat was to try and get in down that right hand side. They got that lad Smith, tons of pace, really good ability on ball, inside and outside. And I thought Max Lowe dealt with him. I thought he's had an absolutely great game. He's won headers, he's won tackles, he's used his body to run him out of a byline. Strong block tackles. Slid in there and took man and ball when he's had to. I think it was a proper left-back performance. Whether we'll see more of him at left back, I don't know. Whether we stick with a back four. But I thought he was fantastic today. I mean, he's been really good the last 2-3 months, to be honest with you. But today, like I said, away from home against a really good right winger, I thought he was terrific. Absolutely terrific. Won loads of headers as well, because like I said, they weren't afraid to pop it in there. Terrific display. So man of the match, Max Lowe.